lot of people don't know what to do after getting succeed, you know. So let's say when someone do a startup and startup gets succeed, someone do good job and take some job, and as you say, they flourish, they're good at their job, and they just get good promotions and reach to the peak level of their career. So when they reach to the success level, and what are the next steps after that? So let's say you achieve the success, the one you first thought about. So
Mm,
that's been achieved. So
mm,
now the desire will never end. Like you get
mm,
this much, then
mm.
you want that much. If you get that much, then you get that, you want that much. So desires are completely different. But let's say after first success, how you plan out another? What are the next step after that?
And that's why it's very powerful to understand when someone's in and out of balance. So someone could
Mm.
have had success in their business or their career, but as a result of that, they've sacrificed their health, or they've sacrificed their relationships, or they've neglected their emotions, or they have a successful business, but for whatever reason, their wealth is still not great due to investments, or excuse me, there's still opportunity for them to grow spiritually wise. And so it's a, after it's like climbing mountains. Once you hit the peak of one, it's very important that you spend the time to enjoy, being at the top and enjoy the view and celebrating success. And what you find a lot of peak performers, high performers, high achievers do is then they go on and look for the next mountain. And and it could be a totally different type of mountain. It could be a totally different area of life. And so I was helping this director, and he was working all of the time. And he's very smart. I think he's like PhD or something. Um, and like he said, oh, when he does something, it would only take like 30 minutes, but if someone else did it, it would take like hours. But the problem for him was he was working all the time. He neglected his health. And so even though he knew, like
Exactly,
most people know
exactly.
what to do when it comes to losing weight. Like there's so much information on
Everywhere,
YouTube, on
everywhere.
the internet, uh, pe everywhere,
Yes.
right? But what stops them is the emotions and the mindset. And so for him, I helped him to, so his mountain was health. His mountain was being able to exercise and lose weight. His mountain was being able to stop binging on food and drink. And after doing the emotional work, changing the self-image, um, addressing the root cause of previous limiting beliefs, now he goes on walks
Wow.
every evenings on autopilot, and he tells me if he misses one of his walks, like rain or shine, if he
Oh,
misses one, he feels like
great,
something's missing.
great. So you help him
And
to
so
build that mindset.
life is,
Wow.
yes, and okay, give a bit more detail, what was interesting was when he
Mm.
was young, he was actually very skinny, um, but his parents were not. So his parents were quite round, and he was from India, and strangers would come up to them and tell their parents, "Stop eating all the food yourself, feed your child," because he was so skinny. And so he tied, and it's just an example how something which happens when we're young can have a huge impact for the rest of our lives until we change that program, until we change the narrative of the story, which I did for him. And understanding that, being round does not necessarily equate to happiness, and that he wasn't skinny, he was healthy being the shape he was before, and for him to, it was okay for him to go back to that shape. And then there was another part. So that was one part. Another part was the desire to control everything within the business, and him having confidence and trust to trust other people to do the work for him, and enable them to grow as opposed to doing all the work himself.